Hello everyone, Data Don back with the next progress report on the Corsair. Alright, as you can see, I've been working on the radiator inlets and everything, and these are the channeling plates that helps channel the air in and out. As you can see, I got the white paint all sprayed on them. This is the one cover. I still got to make the cover for the left side. This is the right side. And then these are the little pieces that go in. The only thing that needed to be painted on this, that's all you see when it's on the plane, is just these triangles sticking out. So that's all I did, is just threw paint on the one side only. Because you're not going to see any of this on the inside. All you're going to see is these corners. So I got those all done. I sanded out the filler I put on the doors. Got them all squared away and threw a coat of paint on both of them. So those are done. The tail is now officially finished. I believe that's done. Let's see. And then I went ahead and sanded this all up real good, and you can see I painted it all in white, painted that all in, even shot it up inside all white. One thing I didn't get to do, I forgot to do, is put some sealer on this, to fill it all in yet. I can still do that. Put some slurry mix on there and fill it in and let you sand it, and then throw some more paint on it. But otherwise, it is all done up inside. Both of them. I went in and just put some raw epoxy on all the wood inside, the plywood. This was already done this far, so I just did the pieces of plywood that I had to add to make this new setup. So this is all ready for spraying the dark blue on once I get everything where I'm happy. So, and oops, there goes my light, knocked over. This one's got a little piece of a strand of fiberglass. Oops, it's still a little wet. It's epoxy, so it'll cure good. That'll need to be a little bit of filler on that, but everything's all finished. Everything's all filled and sanded. I even sanded this all down and threw some paint on there. There was a little bit of paint burning on one side. Got a little hot. There's a little bit of a hot spot here because the muffler had cracked where the oxygen sensor was welded in, and it was blowing hot exhaust out, and that's what I'd smelled on that last flight. I could smell something getting hot, like wood was burning, and that's when I came in and landed it and flipped her over. So there's one radiator there, all ready to go back in. So I'm going to give those things a little time to dry up good. It was like 60 degrees today, sunny when we got up, and then it clouded over, and it stayed pretty much around 60, but it wasn't the greatest feeling temp. Now I just took the dog for a walk. I've been in the house for about 45 minutes. Come outside, and it feels like it dropped 20 degrees. I put on my old flannel, insulated flannel, and my hat, figuring, oh, that's probably too much. Get outside, start walking. It's like, no, it wasn't enough. I needed my winter coat. It dropped a good 20 plus degrees. So right now everything's dusty from all the sanding. So I just love how this paint sprays though. Stuff goes on really nice. I mean, it's all dry to the touch, but it's epoxy, so it still needs to literally cure. But I just sprayed all around everything and blended this in. Not much really to say other than those panels. You can see there's a row of holes there, another row here. So the one goes in, comes out down into behind there, and then the other one goes up in top there. So that's all sealed now with epoxy and paint. Just straight epoxy and paint to seal all the wood. So this is ready to go back, ready to go together. Get these aluminum pieces put in. Here's the other radiator, all ready to go back in. So all I need to do is give these time to set and cure a little better so I can handle them. They're physically dry to the touch. Nice and dry. Extremely dry, so they could go in, but I put that paint in a little heavy, so I needed the extra protection. So that's everything. Then I just got to make Make the same one of these for the left wing. It's just going to be reversed. This long side will be over here and the short side will be over there, vice versa. So, but they're all done. I didn't bother painting the inside because that's, you can't see that anyway. That's all tucked up in there where you can't see it. So, like the dog. But again, for anybody that's interested, it's called Class Coat Epoxy. This one's Ivory Insignia White. And then the activator, the catalyst, part B. This stuff is gray. So when you mix it with the white, it still stays white. So I stopped over at the paint shop and bought some more mixing cups and went over to get more of those little U-channel nuts. And then I went to Lowe's last week, and there's they had a partial box of them, so I bought what was left. There's like 11 or 12 of them in there. And then these are all the screws that holds those pieces of sheet metal in, and these are 6s and these are 8s, and the 8s are what I need to screw the covers on. So these nuts are meant to fit the number 8s, and then the 6s are just basically screwed into wood, and there's some 8s mixed in there as well. And then there's the two front pieces. They can go back in. They don't need any paint on them because you can't see them. And one of the nuts fell off. So you just slip over. That's it. So tomorrow I'll probably come out here and throw all these in. And then there's really no reason why I can't throw the radiators back in. The only thing that's left, like I say, is to add some filler on there, and there's that blister. I put some, you just barely see that blister. I put epoxy underneath it and squeeze it down, but it just doesn't want to stay down. Just going to have to be. I'll lightly sand this out, and when I mix up the dark, get some dark blue made, I'll get all this resprayed. I'm probably going to take my buffer and buff that under here because there's a lot of this blue overspray on here. And when you kind of buff it out, it gives you a faded line here. It's not a fine line, but it gives you kind of a faded line. So I'd sanded it all the way out to here, just lightly sanded it with some 220. The rest of this could actually use it too, but if I run a buffer over it, I could take that out and get some of this overspray off there. Buffing it will just polish off that overspray. And that's just a light foam buffing pad with some, I think all I used was aluminum polishing or it was paint polishing. It was, what is that brand? Johnson's or something like that. But you can see the plane is a pig. Look how filthy that thing is. Nice thing with all the dust on here, any overspray paint falls on it, it's just going to attract itself to the dust and not literally leave overspray. See, there's just so much dust on this plane. The paint will stick to the dust and not the finish of the plane. So working on this all this time, got a lot of scratches and stuff that need touched up. And this filler I put in there is all got to be redone. And cowlings are done. They're just ready to go on. As soon as I get the radiators back together and get this all hooked up, plumbed up, get some water in her, be ready for another fire up. So, all right, I'm just gonna keep this one short then. There's nothing new to report other than it's painted. The finishing paint will be done after it's all back together. Get those fuel tank back in. The tail wheel is, like I said, there's nothing left. It's finished. It's done. So I was just in there pushing on the pedals before I started it, and the tail moves. I mean, it takes a little force. I can't push on it hard enough to get it to deflect fully, but it might need tightened up a little bit. I won't know until I get it outside and do a taxi test. So meanwhile, get this all put back in. As you can see, all these screws. So there's 10 screws per panel. So there's 40 screws right there. And then 3, 6, 9, 12. And then there's 13 there. So another 24, 5. So lots of screws. And I went to Lowe's and bought me this little kit here. I've been needing some different tips and inserts, and this has got 100 different variants of tips in it. I think it was only like 20 bucks. So been wanting to get some because some I'm missing some Allen wrench ones and I'm missing some Torx ones and these smaller sizes, so I bought that. Figured I'd need this when I go down to Alabama. It'll help when I take down my guns, the impact driver and the cordless drills. Run that down there. Remember to take spare batteries and the battery charger along with me. So right now, still waiting. Like I said, the earliest will be down there, be the middle of April. Still waiting on my Social Security. Friday was 30 days. It hasn't come through yet, so hopefully this coming week they'll have something for me. This is a piece of 1 3/4 tubing like we're going to use on Kevin's P47. This is a piece I cut off and I just sanded her square because I'm looking to see if I can make a bead roller, a heavy duty bead roller to roll this out into a ball on the end. And then I bought some new belts, 80 grit belts from eBay. So I'll have fresh belts because I'm going to take this down with me. Take this down. I've got 2 packs of sanding discs left for that. Oh, those are the small ones. I've got some bigger ones up here. Yeah, here we go. I got extras of those, so I'll be taking this down because this thing just works so nice for sanding the steel. This type of material on there really works good on this stainless because stainless is a royal pain in the ass to cut, but it's probably one of the nicest, easiest TIG welding steels I've ever welded. This is heavy stuff, you know. This is 16th, or what do you call it, 16 gauge, which is basically 16th of an inch, 0.62. But I mean that looks fatter than 0.62, but it mic'd out 62 thou. So, but it's tough cutting stuff. That's what I lopped off my tailpipe tips coming out of the mufflers on my plane. So I looked it up and was like, okay, that's 1 3/4. That's what we're going to use on Kevin's. If I can make that bead roller, I'm going to make a ball and male and female socket for the tailpipes on that because something has to give, something's got to move. Basically, just going to be kind of a Y pipe off each side with a ball end on it, and then the tailpipe on it. And I'm designing it so it literally just comes right down out of the head, tucks inward, and goes straight back out the exhaust ports on the firewall, which is similar to mine. I mean, all these wars were the same. Mine's in here. Yeah, his is in the same spot. He's got like a 3-inch tube pushed into his, and again, I got to go from here over to here. So I sent Kevin a message, tell him I need the dimensions from #1 cylinder to the firewall, and then I need to know the width of his exhaust in here, which should be like 15.5 inches if it's based off of this, because his pipe is, at first I thought it was right underneath the mount, but it ain't. It's just like mine. So they should be pretty similar because I think all the wars use the exact same motor mount spaces. And then I need to know the distance from here straight down to here. So you basically got to run a straight edge across here and then measure from there down to the center of his pipes where he wants them to go out. So I need him to get off his doofus and get me those measurements so I can finish drawing the thing up. And then that'll give me an idea how much tubing, what angle tubing I need, and if we need to order any straights. But I did find some nice 1 3/4 tubes on eBay with 12-inch legs on it, which should be more than enough. This front one may be a 90 degree and it's going to cut back, and then the back one will be a 45. But the idea is to run her straight down and out. It'll tuck in because the cowling on these planes, they just curve so much in that you can't have anything sticking out this way. Like this one, I couldn't roll it straight back here because the cowlings, the cowlings will hit. So that's why I went forward with mine. Alright, I guess, excuse me, I got no horse in my throat. This is why I'm talking about taking these guns at my drill and impact driver, and I got this nice flex driver on there that I use, real nice, quick disconnect. Take stuff like that down. So still got to seal up those. I did find some sealant in my toolbox that's for gasket forming, and I think it's fuel proof stuff. This is that brown gasket forming, form gasket sealant. Slow drying, non-hardening. I gotta look and see, but I'm pretty sure it's good for gasoline, but if not, I'll find something. So, and then I did some more work checking out to be taking down my sanders, my air tools, stuff like this, die grinders, some discs for this. I'm taking stuff like that with me, and I think he has access to a small compressor that we can use out there. Some things got to get in there with the die grinders, with burrs, carbide burrs like this. I'll be taking stuff like that down, hole saws down. But I plan on making up a jig, and I bought a new cut-off blade. The only thing I like about them is they're thick. But this is the first time they actually had a 12-inch blade that'll fit my 12-inch saw. Usually I've been buying 10 inches, and that one there is worn down quite a bit. But I'll be taking this down because I'm going to use this to cut the tubing. But I plan on using a piece of plywood, 3/4 inch plywood. I've already figured out the spacing of the cylinders. It's a weird spacing. It's like 7.13 inches from cylinder to cylinder, exhaust to exhaust. And then the width, I've got the width figured out. So I'm going to lay it out on my CNC and pre-drill holes in there. So we just stuff the tube in there and move it and bend it. And so I need to know how long to make it to the firewall and how far to go up for the exhaust outlet, so I can pre-plan it, get it all drawn out, and then be that much farther ahead. So, all right, let's see, I got the heater's off. It's almost out of fuel again. Gas is up to $4 a gallon here. Diesel's up to, I think, like $5 a gallon. We did have some snow this past week with Mr. Loki, but it all melted. Now it's getting a little foggy, but it feels almost humid out here. Light misty rain, cold. So, all right, I think that's going to do her. I did have to work on my car, and I ordered a new brake booster check valve because I hooked up a vacuum hose and hooked a hose up to it and a gauge between the check valve and the booster. Took it for a drive and saw some interesting things. When you're driving, the vacuum should pull all the way up as high as the motor, which is usually between, this car was like between 20 and 25 inches of vacuum, and then it should stay there. I'm measuring it after the check valve before the booster, so once that vacuum's in there, it should stay. And the vacuum holds fine, but then there was points where I'd step on the throttle and the vacuum would drop like the engine vacuum. It would drop down to like 15, and that shouldn't do that. That check valve should not allow that to do that. It's not a leak in the booster. I think it's just the valve is working and not working. Testing it seemed fine, and then every time the vacuum would drop below 20 inches and I used the brakes, then the brakes got harder feeling and you had to push on it harder and they weren't stopping real good. But anytime it was over 20, they worked perfect. But there just seems to be an on-off time where that that valve wasn't working. So. Alright, I can see I'm at my 18 minutes. Looks like I'm going to have to edit and splice two videos together. But so I ordered a valve. I'll get that in and I'll check it again, test it, see if it works better. If not, then it's nothing left but the booster. But all the tests I've done with it, it holds vacuum. It doesn't seem to leak down. I play with the pedal when I'm driving, and the boost stays there. When you push on it, the vacuum would stay, like 20 inches. And when you release it, it drops because it's trying to refill the backside of the chamber to pull the assist back off. So that's working fine. Everything's working fine, but every now and then when I'd step on the gas, I'd see the vacuum drop, and it shouldn't drop because I'm checking it after the check valve. So if anybody ever has a problem like that, you'll understand what's going on. So, all right, everyone, that's going to do her. I'm going to go ahead and end this now and go inside and get warmed up. And I got all the heat turned off. The oven's off. This is off. Lights are all off. Time to go in and kick back. So. Alright, everybody, as always, appreciate everyone taking time to watch my videos. As always, feel free to leave comments, questions, concerns, and don't be afraid to leave any comments. Appreciate the ones you people leave now, and keep them coming, and I will catch you guys again Tuesday night, and hopefully you'll see this stuff back together. Alright, everybody, that's going to do it for tonight, and I will see you guys again Tuesday. So for now, this is Dan and Don out.